Hello and welcome to the Whirly Bloke channel. Today I'll be reviewing this SP500 GPS drone from Snaptane. I don't normally do reviews of toy grade drones on the channel, but when Snaptane offered me this SP500 for review, I was intrigued to see just how far toy grade quads have come over the last 4 years. This is a foldable quad with GPS and a 1080p camera, so it's a bit like an entry-level Mavic. Clearly it's not a prosumer drone, but it's fundamentally got the same features for a fraction of the price. And it's available on Amazon in the UK and elsewhere for about £130. So in the box you get the quad. So we can get this out, and you can see it's a foldable quad. The arms just unfold, which is all very nice, a little bit like a Mavic really. And you get a couple of batteries, 1, 2, and these just pop in the back of the SP500 like that, which is all very nice. You get some spare props in here, just one set of spare props. There's the controller itself, which I'll go through in a minute. And down here we've got various charging leads. These two here, untangle them, are for charging the batteries. You just, where is that? Oh, there we go. So you just plug this into there. So the charging circuit's actually in there. You just plug that into a USB outlet somewhere. So those are the batteries. This charge lead's slightly different, and this is for charging up the controller. And you can see here it says for controller charging only. So you can charge everything up all together. And also go down here, we've got some spare screws in there in case you lose any. And there is 4 prop guards on here, which bolt on the outside. And I think that's what the screws are for, to fix those on. That's if you're flying indoors. You don't want to damage anything. And there's also this very comprehensive manual that explains everything in detail. So if you're a beginner, you really need to take a look through this. Let's get that out of the way and have a look at the quad itself. So before flying, and while you're waiting for all the batteries to charge up, it's a good idea to read through this manual. Because this is a GPS drone, you'll need to calibrate the compass and the gyro. It's all pretty straightforward, but if you're used to flying just non-GPS drones, then there's a little bit more to understand. And this manual really explains it very well. And you'll also need a mobile phone. And this has got the controller app on it. Again, all the details of where to get this and how to install it are in the manual. And this just fits onto the controller like so. Get that on there. So this drone just unfolds a little bit like a Mavic, which is quite nice. It's got a 1080p camera that records video and photos. And there's no gimbal on here, so it's not stabilized video. And you'll need to preset the angle of the camera, the angle that it points down before you start flying. And because it's got GPS, you can do quite a bit more. You can set waypoints, you do that in the app, and you can fly a route autonomously. You can do a point of interest, which is just circling around a given point, and you can use follow me mode. Basically, it will follow you and you can video yourself walking around, and you can use gestures to start the video and take a photograph. And it's also got auto takeoff and land. So let's take a quick look at the controller itself. We've got the normal sticks for controlling throttle, yaw, pitch and roll, all fairly straightforward. This is mode 2. There's a couple of buttons here for calibrating the gyro and the compass, all explained in the manual here. There's an on-off button, a range of status lights along the bottom there. Over here we've got the auto takeoff and land button, which is very useful. The GPS button turns off GPS, so you can go into ATTI mode, which means you can't do any of the GPS related functions, but you don't have to wait for a GPS lock. You can just take off when that's in ATTI mode. Down here we've got the return to home button, and we've got the headless mode, which is quite nice for beginners. So the great thing about this is having return to home. It means if you get in trouble and you don't know where the drone is, or it detects low battery, it will just return to home at a height that you set in the app. And this is really useful for beginners who can very easily lose orientation of the drone. So it's pretty good, really. Let's get this out in the field and see how it flies. Let's get the app started. And it looks like we are ready to fly. We've got 3 bars. It's all looking good. Okay, let's hit the takeoff button. Auto takeoff. Excellent. It's very quiet, I have to say. I know these are brushed motors, but... Okay, shall we try some of these gestures then? So, please make a gesture with the right hand for recording a video, a gesture for taking a photo, taking a photo within 3 meters. Okay. Under 3 meters, that's definitely under 3 meters. Let's give that a go. Ah, there we go, it started recording. Excellent. I wasn't quite close enough. Okay, let's have a whiz around, capture some video and see how things look. And I have to say, this is pretty quiet. So I don't know quite how far we can go with this, but I'm not going to chance my arm with this, just in case, on this first flight. But it's very stable. Pretty wind-free conditions here at the moment. So you can see how loud it is. So we're still recording video according to the screen. That's excellent. Okay, let's try. So take it out of gesture mode and see if we can get follow me working. Follow me, yes. It seems to be having trouble finding me. Let's see if it'll find me now. Follow me? Follow me, yes. Let's try and walk around here. Ah, it's very strange. Follow me doesn't seem to be... Okay. It's sort of working. Sort of. Ah, yes. Following me. It's not particularly good, but it's doing something. Let's take it out of that mode. So, I thought what we'll do is try and return to home. See how that goes. I need to check what the settings are before I do that. Let's just try and auto land. Okay. Drone low voltage. We probably need to change that battery. But let me just see what stop recording. We've got beginner mode off, distance, flight altitude, return to home altitude 42. We'll bring that down, bring that down to about 30. Save. Okay, so let's try A, return to home. Now at the moment we've only got 3 bars. I think what I'm going to do is change that battery. Try starting the app again. We have 3 bars ready to fly. Excellent, there we go. So hit takeoff. We're just going to fly away for a little bit and just hit the return to home button and see what happens. Hit return to home. So it's beeping, it's turning back towards me. Going up to, yeah, it's pretty good. Let's see if it lands and how close we get to where we took off. Yawing around, landing. Well, I guess for a toy grade quadcopter that's not too bad. Take it out. Let's try that again. Let's go a little bit further away. Okay. So we can take off. We can go down the bottom there. Okay, return to home. And it's turning back round. It comes back very, very quickly, I have to say. And it's now yawing around again, and it's going to descend down. I don't want to land in there, so I'm going to stop that. Let's try it again. I quite like this return to home. I think it's pretty good, actually. It's the speed it comes back that's incredible. Look at that. Very fast. Then it yaws round and slowly descends. Now I'm going to stop it because it's going to land in that squidgy old grass there, which I don't want it to do. Okay, so let's go and have a bit of a fly around, see what we can see. It's pretty good, you know. The image on the app is obviously fairly delayed and there's no gimbal. If you look over here, this is a lot of flooding over here. So we can go up quite high. So because there's no gimbal, it's a bit wobbly. And if we look up here, there's a whole load of building going on. Let's go up there and have a quick look. Seems to be struggling against that wind up there. Oh, I'm only on speed 0. Let's try it on the faster speed. That helps. That's a bit better. So that big house over there is currently under development. Did a survey of that a little while ago, which is interesting. And there's a whole bunch of houses over here. Which is interesting. Okay, let's bring this back. Now this does have waypoints, but it's a little bit difficult to set on the phone out in the field, I have to say. I did try this back on the desk, and it wasn't too bad, but out here it seems to be quite tricky. But overall, Not too bad. Let's try that return to home again. I think I'm quite impressed with that. Let me take a little bit further this time. Yep. Turns round, goes up to about 40 metres. And it's making its way back. Now clearly if it's not so far away, it doesn't go all the way up to its return to home height, which I've set to, I think, actually 30 metres. So we're about 50% on the battery, so it's still okay. I want to cancel that because that seems to be pretty good. I'm just going to try this return to home again at a low altitude. So that was about the altitude I set it to in the settings, which I think was 30 metres. Probably quite high actually. Okay, so here we are again. So if I fly away and keep it very low, and then do a return to home, it doesn't actually go up to 30 metres. It's interesting. I wonder if that's based on distance or height. Let's take it away a little bit further. Go all the way down there, I think. So that's a little bit further away. Return to home. Yeah, it looks like it's based on height. Oh no, it's distance. So I flew that a little bit further away and it's going up to its return to home height, which is 30 metres. And coming back. Okay, I'm going to cancel that and just bring it down and see if we can try and do point of interest before we run out of the drone battery. I've only got this is the last one I've got. Okay, so let's see if I can get me in shot. Get back a bit. Not the best of things. Right. Let's say 5 metres. Done. Okay. Okay, so it's definitely doing a point of interest. And I am recording that. I didn't capture me exactly. Oh, it's the point of interest from where it was. I understand, that makes sense. So I think we're very low on battery now. Yeah, drone, return to home, yes. So it's done a return to home because the battery voltage is low. The point of interest was working until it detected that we were low on drone battery voltage. So it's turned on its return to home automatically, which is good. For a toy grade quad, that's actually pretty good. Okay, down we come. I'll just stop the return to home, by the way, because it keeps wanting to land in this real squidgy bit of mud over here. So let's stop recording. So overall, I actually think this is a not too bad toy grade quadcopter with GPS and altitude hold, which is for £100, just over £100, isn't too bad. Initially, I didn't think it was going to be that great, but, you know, it's actually not as bad as I thought it was. Obviously, the footage on the camera is not going to be terrific because you haven't got a gimbal, so you're going to get a lot of wobble. But it's quiet, and the return to home is pretty good, actually. Obviously, it's not going to be coming back to exactly where it took off because no optical flow sensors or anything like that. But for a toy-grade quadcopter, I think that's perfect. So there we go. For a toy-grade drone, this isn't too bad. It's actually pretty good. Some of the features are a bit fiddly to use, but a beginner will have great fun with this. And you have to remember, this is a quarter of the price of a Mavic Mini, so don't expect the same quality. But it is good fun to play with, and it shows how far toy-grade drones have come over the last 4 years. And this weighs under 250 grams with a battery in it, so you're not going to have to register this in the UK. As always, thanks for watching, and if you found that useful, give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. And if it's your first visit, then please consider subscribing to the channel and hit the bell to get notified when I post a new video. I'll see you next time.